All right, boys, what's going on? We're going to be doing an indicator testimonial video. So essentially, I have my friend Mike here. I'm going to introduce him in a moment, but he's been using the indicators. He's been trading for a pretty short amount of time. I'm going to let him tell his story, but he's been able to find some good success using the iFVG indicators. So this is my buddy Mike. I've known him for a long time. So we're just going to go through his story and his experience with the indicators so far. So what's going on, Mike?
What's going on, guys? Been friends with Xavier and Jan for a while. They've been trading since like high school, college, always trying to get me into it. And I would always push them back and tell them I'm going to start next week, next week, next week, until eventually this year I realized at around like March, I was like, you know what, let me take the initiative to actually look into this and see if this is something I could do, something I like, and something I could actually make some income out of. So I probably started joining their discords like October, November, trying to get the lingo down, just trying to watch the charts, try to see how Jan, Xavier, how they analyze the charts, how they use the indicator, and all sorts of that. And then around March, I started paper trading, just playing around, trying to see if I could actually be good at paper trading, and just telling Jan and Xavier and them seeing how I was doing paper trading, doing really good. And then eventually, probably around like late May, I bought a eval account, and then I wanted to fund the account and start actually making money off that. So I took it slow, and eventually by Jan and Xavier just kind of mentoring me through it by using the indicator, the Discord, the Instagram, watching all the videos. I was able to fund the account before blowing it, right? So I made 3,000 before I lost 2,000. And then eventually I got my first payout last week, and it still doesn't feel real. Um, I ended up taking out 1,500 last week, and I wasn't able to do it without the indicator, without Jan, without Xavier. And like I said before, it still doesn't feel real. And I feel like I'm only getting better with all the tools that Taking Profits have, um, with their Discord, with their Instagram, with their TikTok, just being able to become profitable by using them, using their tools, and using the indicator as a whole.
Yeah. So how much experience did you have like before, I guess, like did you watch any videos or how did that look for you? You kind of went pretty much straight into paper trading, right? So
Yeah, right. So I would obviously see the TikTok, see the Instagram shorts, right? Just I didn't know what you guys were talking about. I'd say it was like a new language to me, but I kind of like just threw myself in the fire because that's really how I learn, by just throwing myself in the fire, right? So I just got on the chart, started paper trading, had a little bit of success, doing good. Obviously, I had some bad days paper trading, but it's fake money, right? So I don't want to psych myself out too much. But yeah, I went into it with like zero knowledge. Um, but my knowledge has only gotten better since then. And obviously, I was using the indicator as well, paper trading, so that was helping me get good at it. And eventually, I wanted to move to an eval and get that funded. But yeah, I if people that have no experience are a little scared to get into it, it literally paper trading costs nothing. You know what I mean? It's just your time. That's your, but you're also learning a new skill. So I don't think that's wasting your time. I think if you learning a skill, paper trading, get good at this stuff, I think anybody can do it. You don't really have to be like a genius to be profitable, especially on like paper trading. You know what I mean? You could just learn.
yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. I mean, I feel like a lot of people they never really take the first step with trading because they just feel intimidated. They feel like it's something they can't learn.
Yep.
How did the indicator really help you kind of break down that barrier a little bit? Would you say that it made it easier to understand what you were looking at? Like how did it kind of play a role in your journey, I guess?
Yeah, 100%. If I didn't have the indicator, I don't think I would have ever been able to move to a funded account or an eval, because the paper trading, you could obviously use the indicator, right? But it's fake money, but you're still making money from the indicator, and the indicator has all the check boxes of what you guys trade, and all the alerts that you get was super useful. because I was looking at the chart, looking at the indicator, and seeing what trades I like. At that point, I probably wasn't using too much intuition. I was kind of just taking the indicator, but using the indicator only still made me profitable paper trading. You know what I mean? It's super helpful. The alerts, like it says, the blue obviously is bullish and the red is bearish. So that's kind of like self-explanatory. But it has, like I said, all the boxes checked off. Like sometimes a box won't be checked off for volume or liquidity sweep. You know what I mean? Like it has that checked off, and that's like everybody's a different trader. Like some people want all the box checked off. Some like don't care about volume and stuff like that. But that's where your intuition comes in. And that's where I was like, all right, let me see if I like the trade. It even has like the setup, like has B, B plus, A minus, A. So you can take a look at that. And obviously using your own intuition with the indicator definitely made me get that payout because I obviously got better since paper trading. And then I used my intuition, you guys, and the indicator, and then eventually got my first payout last week.
So how did you kind of develop some of that intuition? Because that was pretty impressive for you, honestly, to where a lot of people they don't find success with the indicator because they're just signal botting. They're looking for an easy way out where they're just, not using their brain really. But you kind of recognized from the beginning that this was about two things. It was about being disciplined and also applying your own intuition to the indicator, not just taking every signal. So how would you kind of recommend to somebody who's starting out with the indicator? Like, how did you build up that intuition to kind of know what trades to take?
Right. Yeah. It was a combination of all things. It was looking at the charts every day, getting used to the charts, looking up videos, watching the videos on Taking Profits Instagram, seeing the TikTok, seeing the Instagram pop up, and just looking up like how to trade iFVGs on TikTok. And I mean, that's what I would do as well. And then I would just look at the charts, even like after I'll get home from my job, like 6, 7 p.m., 8 p.m., I look at the charts. I go back to 9 a.m., see how the chart, if it was bullish, bearish that day. But obviously the indicator does do like you guys say in the videos, they do like most of the work, but you obviously with everything you have to use a little bit of intuition. You can't rely on everything, you know what I mean? Like in life, you're always gonna have to use a little bit of intuition, but obviously there's things that help with it. And a combination of the indicator with the intuition and the experience on the charts, that's what really helped me get the payout. Because the if I didn't have the indicator, I wouldn't have got a payout. You know what I mean? That indicator that you guys built is actually what they say it is in the videos. Like it actually does 80-90% of the work, draws out everything for you. You don't got to draw it out like manually, like it does it for you. Right. So then I would take my intuition with the indicator. If I didn't like it, like if I didn't like how the chart looked, I didn't like how, like, if I didn't like the signal, that's just like how I trade. Right. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't take it. So now I would wait for something. You got to be patient. Got to be patient. Got to have discipline and just wait for the signal you like and just use the indicator, use your intuition, and that's where I found the most success. And I feel like that's where people will have the most success. It's not gonna. It's not like it's not a light. Like it's not like a. It's not gonna do 100% of the work, right? You still have to do some of your work, but it does do 90%, 10% intuition, and then just being disciplined is where I've seen the most success so far.
Yeah. And you talk about discipline, like how important was discipline for you, you think, in getting your payout? Like obviously the indicator was huge, but how did the indicator kind of help with your discipline or just any kind of self-discipline that you had? Like how much of a role did that play into getting your, payout?
Yeah, the indicator definitely played a big role because if I didn't have it, I might want a revenge trade, right? That's when a lot of people blow accounts, right? People don't get profitable because they revenge trade. They lose $1,000 and then they're just not even waiting for a signal to come out. They'll try to make it back right away, right? So that's where the indicator comes into play, right? I think there was one day where I lost like 1,500, right? I wanted to take a trade right away, just buy or sell, like I wanted to right away, and I was like, you know what? Let me clear my head, take this day off, and then got back on the chart the next day, waited for the indicator signal to come out, get the alerts on your phone, you get on your laptop, you know what I mean? So it's right there in front of you. It's right there. And it's telling you like how many contracts to risk, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. So that's super helpful as well. It's literally like mapping it out for you, right? And then you just got to use a little bit of your intuition, right? So that I think I lost, like I was up big the day before and then I lost like 2,000. And that's where the discipline comes in and the indicator, right? So I had to have the discipline to not trade that day because I could have blew the account. And I think that was before I got it funded. I was trying to get it funded. And then I came back the next day. I think I made like $900. I was like, all right, let me take my win here. And then the next day I made it back. So that loss I had wasn't so much of a loss because of my discipline and because of the indicator and using those combined to take a trade I like, a setup I like, and make that money back. So I think that's where discipline and indicator comes into play.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And that's what it's there for too. Like having those signals on the chart and preventing yourself from kind of putting a system in place to where you train yourself to only take trades when the indicator alerts. Like that's so important to just staying like disciplined and not revenge trading, not blowing up or anything. So you figured that out early. You had a good system in place and that helped you a lot, obviously. How did that first payout feel with the indicator? Like, was it or just trading like you earned it 100%, so
Yeah.
like how did that feel for you?
Honestly, it still doesn't feel real. I got the payout last week, right? I requested it last week. And it still doesn't feel real. Just because like I didn't think it was possible to get a payout because it's just like I thought it was just high risk, high reward, but it's actually just like low risk, high reward because you're paying $100 for the account. Say you blow it, you blow $100, right? So be it. At least I learned the skill. But just that payout, like if like hitting like 1,500 like right to your bank account, you know what I mean? It's like hitting that green button. I remember when I funded, or sorry, when I got to 56,000, I was on FaceTime with you. And then that qualified me for my first payout. And I was just like going crazy, you know what I mean? Because it's like such a surreal feeling because it's like, yeah, I did do like a lot of work mentally, but I made like 1,500 like so like with not a lot of work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just doing it myself. You know what I mean? I don't have to take a cut. Like I don't get taxed. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't get taxed up front right on that. Like I get the 1,500 straight to my bank account, and it just still feels like super surreal. I remember you and Jan were like super proud of me for it because I didn't think I'd get there. I thought I was just gonna be stuck paper trading and like I would never be able to pass an account and get it funded and stuff like that. But going back to it, yeah, it still doesn't feel real. And this is the worst like I'll probably ever be at trading. So I think it's only up from here. And I want to continue to get as many payouts as I can and eventually make as much as I can from this.
Yeah, how does that change your perspective on money and like just work in general? Like I'm sure
It
it
de-
did, right?
yeah, definitely a lot because obviously I see people making stupid amount of money like just trading for like an hour because I know Jan like he trades for whenever he takes his trade and then he goes about his day. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have to listen to anybody. He makes money for himself. He works for himself. But I think that people just get too complacent in their lives and they're like okay with what they do and they're always not or they're not always seeking like another source of income because that's like what I want to do because obviously I'm working a 9 to 5 right now corporate job and I want to use this tool and trading as like a second source of income like next to that because I feel like that would be a good pair, right? I have my 9 to 5 and after my 9 to 5 when this market opens back up at 6 I could trade again and I could keep doing that and eventually get to 10K payouts and I have my first source of income from my job and then this is another source of income and then I just feel like that will put me eventually where I want to be and right like the goal is to be like financially free, right? That's the goal or at least my goal. That's where I want to be and I feel like those two like 1A 1B those could go hand in hand together because I have like my income that I'm getting every year, my salary, and then I can have this if I get really good at it, start getting payouts, start copy trading, and just making as much as I can like, from these prop firms.
Yeah, no, 100%. And how far do you think you could take it? Like, how far do you want to take it, I guess? Like, you've seen with trading that the scalability is so big and you've kind of figured out a system for yourself very early on. So, like, where do you see yourself, I guess, in the next like 6 months, maybe next year?
Yeah, so obviously the long-term goal is just to keep getting better at this, right?
Mhm.
To eventually where the point where like maybe I could even teach other people how to do this. Like I've already been trying to teach like our friends like kind of like how like the basics of like how to get set up and stuff like that. But long term, just get as good as I can at this. Um and honestly just make as much money as I can, right? That's probably the goal for a lot of people watching this. A lot of people that want to get into trading, right? They either want to do this for a living or they want to make as much money as they can from this. And seeing that you and Jan, like you work for yourselves, right? You have the business and everything, right? Not working for somebody else probably feels like really good, right? Because you're putting in the work, you're putting in like you're not gonna have to give money to anybody else. You don't have to listen to what somebody's telling you. You guys make the rules, right? So I think there's people that want to do that, and there's people that want to do this as a second source of income, which I think they're both really good options. But if you get good at this, I think it's a really good option. Just keep doing it. Obviously, whenever you guys have the time to trade, that's what I do, right? Because I know a lot of people work 9 to 5s, right? So some people can't trade when like the market opens. So that's where I feel like a lot of people can trade at night, right? Whenever they don't have anything going on, you could trade at night and then you don't have to trade again. You know what I mean? And then you can do it again, again, again. So you keep getting good at it. But back to the long term goal, right? I want to get to the point where I can be doing 10K months, right? That's the goal, which I don't think is unrealistic, but I definitely have a lot of work to do to get there. Got my first payout. I want to eventually buy 5 accounts, copy trade them, and then go from there and see how much discipline I have when I have 5 accounts and see how much money I could actually make when I'm not just trading on one account. You know what I mean? Because if I make 1,000 on 5 accounts, at times that by five, that's a stupid amount of money. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Yeah, 100%. But what matters most is, I mean, you have a system too. So it's like you have such a good system. Like it really comes down to discipline at that point. You already know what you're doing. Like clearly what you're doing is working with the indicator and everything. So it's like from this point, it's really just rinse, repeat, right? And,
Right.
see how your discipline catches up. Um, how would you kind of advise, say there's somebody who was in your shoes like 3 months ago, right? Like doesn't know anything about trading, is kind of intimidated, but they want to make some extra money. How would you kind of advise that they get started? Like what steps should they take? And how did you, you know, kind of
Yeah.
follow those steps?
Yeah. I should just like assess where you're at right now in life, age, job, stuff like that. Like what, like, because right now, like, I'm working 9 to 5. I don't have to pay rent. I still live at home, right? So I have a great opportunity. I know not everybody has that opportunity, right? So I would say just assess where you're at in life, how much time you have, and do you want to change your life and do you want to learn another skill, right? Because that's how I went about it, right? I wanted to learn a new skill, find another source of income on top of my 9 to 5, and just be, even if I didn't make money, I still learned a skill, right? Instead of just doing whatever. I'd rather learn a skill than just rot away all day. Because even if I didn't do it, I blew $150 on the account, like, but at least I learned something. But if I was talking to somebody 3 months ago in my position, I would just say, stop pushing it back, right? Because that's what I would do. I'd tell you and Jan, and you would be like, dude, like you can do it. Like Jan would always tell me, like you have the discipline. I've seen it because I've obviously known you and Jan for a while. He's like, you have the discipline. You just gotta get on the charts. You know what I mean? And that's what I would advise somebody. Just start off paper trading. Look at taking profits. Look at the Instagram. Look at the TikTok. Watch the videos. You'll learn the lingo. It will all mesh, and just watch even the YouTube videos too. I've seen like just you might as well start. You really don't have much to lose besides time. Um, time, even if you don't buy an account, you still learn a new skill. Like the worst you can lose is time, and that's where it comes back. Where like I would tell Jay, I'm like, oh, like I don't have time. He's like, you don't have 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, well maybe I do have 10 minutes. So like 10 minutes a day. I would scroll on TikTok, how to trade iFVGs, you know what I mean? And that just like over time significantly helped me to understand the concept of trading and the concept of trading that I was doing and what taking profits was doing. But yeah, it's either one day or day one. That's what I always say, right? Like That's what I tell my friends. I try to get trainings day one or one day. Yeah, either way, you're gonna have to start. Um, but you might as well start today because I kept pushing it back, kept pushing it back. And I honestly wish I started this sooner, you know what I mean? Because I probably could have made a whole lot more money if I started this sooner. But I kept pushing it back. But if I were you watching this and I wanted to make money or learn a new skill, I would just say start paper trading and use the indicator. Look at the Discord, join the Discord. You could see everybody interacting over there. That's what I would do. See everybody like you could see them posting their winning trades. I'm like, well, if they can do it, why can't I do it? You know what I mean? That's the mindset that I have, and I feel like a lot of people have to have. Like, are these people really that much smarter than me? I don't know, but if they're doing it and they're making stupid money, then why can't I do it? Like, if they change their lives with like money wise, like why can't like why not me?
Yeah. No, 100%. And it's such a good attitude to have, bro. Like a lot of people like just need to adopt that mindset. Like it all starts with your mindset, right? And it's like once you can really get that through your head, like there's really no excuse, like get that through your head and just get started. And just everybody has to start somewhere. And, our goal has been to kind of just make it easy for people to really get started, like, and help them get from point zero to get to the point where they can actually put money in their bank account within, just a couple months. And I feel like our tools have really helped. And you've been such a good testament of that. Like you showed up, you have the right mindset, you're disciplined, and you use the tools to your advantage and you made the most out of it. So it's definitely, it's been cool to see, like knowing you for such a long time, like, you like, we're proud of you. Like you did it. So do you have any final words like to anybody? Like I'm sure you want to kind of get some more people started. Like you kind of said, like just start, right? Like
Yeah, it's just like I always hear people like saying like, "Oh, like I hate my job." Like I'm like, but you can't change your life unless you change it. Like it's
yeah,
cliche, but like you can't change it without changing it. Like how are you going to say you hate your job and all these things, or say you don't have enough money if you're, but you don't like you could say all these things, but once you actually do something about it, like I always hear people saying, "Oh, I'm going to do it, this," but like
yeah,
just what do you have to lose? Like I don't know
yeah,
everybody's position. I don't know what everybody's going through, but you're not gonna change by talking about it. You actually have to apply it and use it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's just like when I was working my other job, like I was working 9 to 6, didn't like it, wasn't making a great amount of money, and I was like, do I really want to be working there for like, you know what I mean? For like, is my time really worth it there? And I was like, well, let me try this, right? So then I got a new job from there, and then I've been doing this on the side as well. Like I said before, trading at night and just putting in the work, right? Because nobody's coming to save you, right?
yeah,
That's what I realized. I was like, maybe like Jan or Xavier are coming to save me. I'm like, yeah, they did to an extent, but I have to. They're not like I had to take the trading wheels off, right?
yeah,
But that's where the indicator comes into play as well. Like I wouldn't have been profitable without the indicator. I wouldn't have got this payout without you, without taking profits, and without the indicator as a whole, because it tells you exactly the setup and it tells you what to take, what the market, like what's going on in the market, why to take the trade. So that's why it's been so helpful in my journey so far. But if I was somebody watching this, I would just say take the risk. Like you really don't have much to lose. It's low risk, high reward. Take a look at taking profits to Instagram, look at the Discord, look at all the people making stupid money and they're doing it within an hour, 2 hours, and they go about their day, right? It's crazy to me. Like you and Jan have been like trading 9:30 to 11 and you go about your day. And like, well, like us, we're working till 5 and like all of our friends are like just working and you guys are done with your day. And if that's somebody like if that's you and you want to do that, then I think you should take however much you have, invest it into this, invest it into a prop firm, into an account, and eventually just get good to the point where like you're consistent, stick to your logic and just try to be as consistent as you can.
yeah. No, 100%, 100%. That's good. So, yeah, man, we're proud of you, bro. Like you really made something out of this opportunity. Like you just, you saw the opportunity and you took a risk. If you could even call it a risk, like you really had nothing to lose. You just kind of got started, right? And obviously it worked out. So we're proud of you, man. And obviously, like anybody watching this video, like this can be you, bro. Like you can literally don't be intimidated. You can go from zero to the point where you're putting money into your bank account. Like that's the tools that we've worked so hard to develop here. Like they're more than just indicators. Like if you use them properly, they are really a strong financial tool for you to like actually make a change in your life. Like this is bigger than just money too. It's like you've kind of changed the whole course of like basically your life. Like it shows you that, things are possible when you just get started and, you can actually make money out of just working in an office, which is huge. And I think everybody needs to realize that at some point in their life. It's not for everybody, but if you have that mindset and you believe that it's you, then it can be you. Absolutely. So yeah, man. I mean, that was great. Mikey D is in our Discord, so anybody watching this who has like questions about the indicator and stuff, like they could reach out to you, right? And just, if they're trying to get started and
Yeah,
obviously reach out to me, Jan, and
definitely. Because
yeah.
like people are probably going to be in the same position that I was in 3, 4 months ago, and I'm not an expert by any means, but I put in the work. Um, I've used all the tools that Taking Profits, Xavier, Chan, all of them have built, and it's just like what I mean. The ROI on trading is just like it's just infinite, right? Because you could just take your time, take a little bit of money, and devote it to this, and your life can possibly change if you go about it the right way. You're disciplined. You're using the indicator and using all the tools you have. I don't really think there's an excuse to not be able to make money from this. And um, the journey has been really, really cool so far. I appreciate Xavier and Chan, and Taking Profits as a whole, kind of like taking me under the wing, kind of mentoring me a little bit, and keeping me in check when I wasn't in check, and just being such a useful tool in my trading journey so far.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we're gonna do a check-in video with you too. We'll keep you kind of, pushing
100%.
forward. We could check back in 6 months, see where you're at, and we want to get you to that point, like 10K, 20K months, see how far you could take this. So, you know,
100%. That's the goal, right? Make as much money as you can
yep,
and just learn and get better day by day.
yep. All right, that was it for this video. Like I said, if you want to reach out to Mikey D in the Discord or reach out to any of us, we're all here to help. So this was everything as far as the indicator testimonial, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.